Well, yesterday went as terrible as I knew it would. Candy was totally unfocused and didn't listen.
I mean, yeah, I guess, but did you see that quick change? That was brilliant.
Top of the morning to you all, dear friends.
Top of the morning to you too, Candy.
What's with the clothes, glasses, and funny new voice?
Whatever do you mean?
Well, I think you look amazing and sound great.
Thanks. I thought since we're focusing on the mind of a detective today, I would get myself ready with this outfit and these cool glasses. Aren't they amazing?
Sure, let's get started. To be a good detective, you need to learn to ask good questions. So, question asking is the topic we'll focus on today.
Yes, questions are very important indeed. So let's start there. Now, Candy, how about you start by asking us a good question?
Okay, are we there yet?
What?
Are we there yet?
Are we where?
You know, there.
Oh, I get it. That's your example of a good question.
Yeah, isn't it a great one? I try to ask it about every 5 minutes when we're in their car driving somewhere. My parents don't seem to appreciate it, but I still think it's a great question because I just want to get there. And you know, another one that goes well with it is, can I be done yet? I ask that one whenever I want to be done with something, like laundry or yard work or homework. Mom and Dad aren't big fans of that one either. Can you believe it? I mean, if you want to be done with something you don't want to do, those two questions are great to ask and ask and ask again.
Well, I can definitely see why your parents wouldn't love those two questions, and more importantly, neither of those will help you solve a case.
Yeah, Candy, why don't you try asking us a question that a detective might ask?
Okay, sure, easy. Why did the chicken cross the road?
Seriously, are you trying to make a joke out of our Focus Academy training?
No, that's a real question. I mean, it makes you think. There are so many reasons why the chicken could have crossed the road, and a good detective would need to ask the chicken and figure out why she was crossing the road. Like, was she going to visit her grandma? Did she want an ice cream cone? Or maybe the chicken was a bank robbing chicken and it crossed the road to rob a bank. You always need to watch out for those bank robbing chickens.
Okay, Candy, maybe you need something more specific to work with. Like, let's take our most recent big case from the Winter family getaway. We called it the case of the missing ingredient. Now, there was this really famous baker who was preparing for a cookie competition, but the secret ingredient that he needed to win the $1 million prize was stolen. Now, if you were in this case, what would you ask first?
How about, do you have any milk?
What kind of question is that? How would that help you solve the case?
I don't know, you said something about cookies and I like my cookies with milk, and I figured once you solve the case they would give you some cookies and you want some milk to drink with them?
Yeah, except the problem is you're never going to be able to solve this case with that kind of question. This just isn't working.
I know, I'm awful at this. I really want to be a good detective and I'm so honored to be at Focus Academy, but I'm just so nervous around my heroes that I can hardly think. And I know you probably had so many better candidates, and the question that keeps going through my head is, why did you pick me?
Kind of wondering the...
Brilliant! I love it!
Love what?
That question! That was the first good question you've asked all day.
It is?
Absolutely! I knew you had it in you. Why didn't you ask that question earlier?
I don't know, I guess I was scared. Asking questions can be scary because it shows that you don't know the answer, and that can be so embarrassing. And people might not think you're smart or something.
That's true, I can actually understand that. I used to feel that way too until Spyrock taught me that asking questions is smart. Thinking you know everything or don't need to know anything else, that's being not smart. Now I ask questions all the time to learn more.
Yeah, that makes sense, but another reason why I don't ask questions is because what if the answer you get isn't good? Like, what if you told me I'm the worst person in the world, I'll never be good at anything, and I might as well go eat worms?
You know, that's actually another great question. Asking meaningful questions can be scary, and we may not always get the answer we want, but at least we learn more and can get the help we need to work on anything we might need to improve. As far as eating worms, though, I would never tell you to do that. Unless they were gummy worms.
That's a relief. And gummy worms are yummy, so I'm totally down for eating some of those.
That's awesome. Maybe I'll send some over to you to remind you that God made you special. just like how he made everybody special. In fact, he thinks you're so special that he sent his own son to tell us all about how much he loves us. And I could tell by your application and your interview from the first day that you might need some help on learning more about that.
Oh, so you just accepted me because you knew I needed help focusing on God's love for me. Well, that's really nice and definitely true. I would really love to focus on God more, but I guess that means I'm not going to be a good detective then, huh?
Well, yes, I could see that you needed some help on focusing on God first, but I can also see your love for detective work is all a wonderful part of how God made you. And you know what? I can absolutely see you being a wonderful detective in the future.
Wow, it's really cool. Do you think so too, Nancy Clue?
Well, I've definitely had my doubts, and you definitely need a lot more work. But I mean, look what you just did. You just asked another really good question.
Hey, I did. And it wasn't too bad hearing that you think I could be a good detective, even if I still have a lot of work to do.
Yes, so let's get back to work. Now that you know that God loves you and that we love you too, do you think you can ask another better question about the case of the missing ingredient?
Yes. The first question I would ask is, who knew where the secret ingredient was stored?
Brilliant! That's exactly where we started too. Tomorrow we'll pick up with the next part of the case and talk about how we communicated as a team to solve it.
Sweet sauce! Until then, I'm going to a farm to interview some chickens to see if any of them were thinking of robbing a bank. Just kidding! Bye!
Bye!